Okay, folks, time to give you your answers for the sports quiz. Um, so let's get to it and give you those answers. Just make sure that everything is okie dokie here. There we are. Sometimes takes a wee bit of time, this wee thing. So let's get to it. Here is your football answers. Who were the last team to win the Scottish Cup with a team that fully comprised of Scottish players? That was St Mirren in 1987 when they beat Dundee United. In fact, I think both teams, it was the last time both teams comprised of all Scottish players and Scottish managers, of course. Question 2. What was the name of the two brothers who played as centre-back for both Stuttgart and West Germany in the early 80s? That was Bernd and Karl-Heinz Forster. Question 3. At Euro 92, it was Germany's first major tournament as a reunified nation. Name the three players in the squad who were previously capped by East Germany. Point for each one here, of course, folks. They were Thomas Doll, Andy Thom, who played for Celtic, of course, and Matthias Sammer, great Matthias Sammer. Question 4. When Rangers defeated Dynamo Kiev at Ibrox in 1987 in the European Cup, three of the Kiev players went on to play for Scottish clubs. Who were they? Sergei Bultacha, of course, went on to play for St Johnstone. Great friend of mine, Sergei. Oleg Kuznetsov and Alexei Mikhailichenko went on to play for Rangers, of course. And question 5. In 1978, Joe Jordan left Leeds United for which other club? It was Manchester United. I think Gordon McQueen went there as well. Question 6. In 2014, which English club did Scott Andy Robertson join from Dundee United? That was Hull City, and the English defender that featured internationally that joined him as well was Harry Maguire. Question 7. Henrik Larsson was second top goal scorer in the UEFA Cup. Who was third top goal scorer for Krakow? That was Maciej Żurawski. Those Polish names are a bit like a Wi-Fi code, aren't they? Question 8. Which nation has won the most FIFA Women's World Cups? That is the USA. They've won 4. Question 9. The goalkeepers Rogerio Ceni, Jose Luis Chilavert, Dimitar Ivankov and Rene Gieter are the top 4 in the list for which record in world football? Top scoring goalkeepers. I think Rogerio Ceni has scored over 100 goals. All of them take penalties and free kicks like Chilavert did for Paraguay. And question 10. Which was the first purpose-built all-seater stadium in the UK, which opened in 1989? That was McDiarmid Park, St Johnstone's ground. And the bonus point there, which Scottish club technically had the first all-seater stadium in 1977? That was Clydebank, Kilberry Park, which they put in benches after they sold Davy Cooper to Rangers. They used the money for that. Right, commentators' answers. Your answers here. Number 1 was Barry Davis. 2 was Ted Lowe. 3 was Peter O'Sullivan. 4, Dan Maskell. 5, Peter Allis. 6, Brian Moore. 7, Sid Waddell. 8, Peter Bromley. 9, Ian Darke. And 10, Bill McLaren. Right, the picture round was next, folks. Number 1 there, Mark Spitz. 2 was Tommy Smith. 3 was Kathy Freeman. 4, that's Bradley Wiggins. 5, that's Mary Peters. 6, golfer Justin Rose, who won in Rio. 7, that's Ed Moses. 8, that is Heike Drexler. 9, Jackie Joyner Kersey. Not Flojo, that was Flojo was her stepsister, not stepsister, her sister-in-law, who sadly died, Flojo. And number 10 was Alberto Tomba. Alberto Tomba, the great alpine skier. So I'll give you the answers there for that. There you go. So you can mark them off, of course. And your final round. Question 1. In 2005, Rafa Nadal has won all but 3 French Opens from 2005. Can you name 3 players who won it respectively in 2009, 2015 and 2016? That was Roger Federer, Stan Wawrinka and Novak Djokovic, a point for each. Question 2, which Open Championship course is located in Southport, Merseyside? That's Royal Birkdale. Question 3, William Perry, the refrigerator, was best known as a defensive lineman for which NFL side from 1985 to 1993? That was for the Chicago Bears. In the Northern Hemisphere, we have the Six Nations Championships. The Southern Hemisphere's version is the Rugby Championship. I wanted you to name all 4 nations for a point. Argentina, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. Question 5, which male athlete broke the triple jump world record twice in the same night at the World Athletics Championships in 1995? I think they were in Gothenburg. That was, of course, Jonathan Edwards, who didn't want to compete on a Sunday, in fact, remember. Yeah, he didn't want to compete on a Sunday, but then he realised that the qualifiers for most of the championships were on a Sunday, so he had to. Question 6, the Prix de Diane is a French equivalent to which English classic? That is the Oaks. Question 7, La Source, Rouge, Stavelot and Blanchimont are all famous corners at which iconic Grand Prix circuit at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium? I'll give you a point as well if you put in the Belgium Grand Prix. Question 8, Virginia Wade won the ladies' Wimbledon singles title in 1977, but which other Brit lifted the title before her in 1969, achieving her 3rd Grand Slam? That was Ann Jones. And the USA have won 37 has seen 37 of its golfers win the green jacket at the US Masters. But which 2 countries come next in the list of nations most successful at Augusta? They are Spain, which have won it 5 times, with Seve Ballesteros winning it twice, Jose Maria Olazabal twice as well, and Sergio Garcia. South Africa have won it 5 times as well, with 3 going to Gary Player, 1 to Trevor Immelman and another to Charles Schwartzel. And your final question, in 2012, which racehorse became the first in 60 years to be crowned champion at the age of 2, 3 and 4? That was, of course, the magnificent, superb Frankel. Okay, folks, that is it then. That is all your answers to the sports quiz there for you. Now, as I have been speaking about, we are going to be doing a quizathon on Sunday, the 7th of June. It will be for a Scottish mental health charity. More details will be released at the weekend. The quizathon is going to involve, of course, me doing quizzes, but I'm also asking you, punters out there, to get involved. Challenge the Quizmaster. I'm going to be doing that. We're going to be doing Tenable. We're going to be doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So if you want to be taking part on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I will call you and you will be live on here and we can do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We'll be doing a bit of Mastermind as well. Popmaster, of course, taking a little bit of well, not a little bit, but actually just doing the Radio 2 Ken Bruce quiz, and lots of other bits and fun bits and bobs that are going to be taking place during that 12-hour quizathon. So if you want to take part, I'll be speaking more about it on Sunday when we do another bumper quiz, of course, at 4 o'clock. So I'll release more details of that and I'll put it on social media as to how you can get involved as well. So it'll be great to have you involved. Next Wednesday's quiz will be a 80s and 90s themed quiz. So again, hope you can join me then. So thanks a lot, folks. Once again, a pleasure to have your company. Keep safe, folks, and I'll see you when I see you. Good night.